Hello. Uh, can you guys hear me? Hello. Check. One, two, three. Hello. Hello. All right, then let's begin. So, today's session uh, we are holding on behalf of Code EDU. It's for, it's called Think, See, Make, a beginner's path into design. For all the design freshmen and design.
I'm John Henry, and over the next 2 hours, we're going to unlock how designers think, work, and solve real-world problems.
So yeah, precisely. That's what we're going to focus on. How designers think. What does it take to be a designer? How do design minds operate? How do they solve problems? And what exactly is this thing that we call design? So, hello and welcome to the beginner's path into design, your first exciting step into the world of design. Let's begin. First things first, what is this thing that we call design? What is design really? For those of us who are watching us live chat, yes please. So what is design? Design is simply form plus function plus meaning. When you combine these three, you solve a problem, and that is exactly what design is. Now some extra gyan, if you will. Sometimes people confuse art and design, and there is a very big difference between the two. When you say art, it's probably done to express or express one's emotions or ideas, thoughts, or maybe a fiction-based story into visual form or any other form, such as music or uh, art or some canvas that you paint. So that's art, and also it is something that's not primarily done for the sake of money. But on the other hand, when you talk about design, that simply is done for solving somebody's problem and getting yourself paid. That's what designers do. So hence, coming back again to the equation, when you combine function and form and meaning, you have the right recipe for design. It's not just how things look, but how they work. So one thing that we always have to remember in our heads, a design is something which has a clear function, a clear purpose. Be it a website that you're designing or be it a billboard right across the road. Design is supposed to have a function. If we talk about UI, UX, and we'll discuss the further mediums and medias going ahead, I think let's go on. So again, coming back to the form and function and meaning, right? Think IKEA furniture. It's easy to build, DIY, sleek, affordable. A lot of us have iPhones these days, which has, and all the very special thing about iPhones is it carries a minimal design, and but every swipe that you do on your phone, make sure that it's really easy to operate, right? And it's very relatable. So every swipe is carefully considered while creating the OS for iPhone. So let's talk about the design disciplines that we were just going to start over with a while back. So design disciplines, different areas and industries where design is applied, and how does it solve the problems for brands or people. We'll take a deep dive and delve into it. So it's, again, like I said, design isn't just art. We just talked about this, didn't we? So it's just everywhere. I mean, in the very room that you're sitting and watching this video right now, why don't you look around and see what all objects are there? It can be a planter, it can be a table lamp, or the very device that you're that you're watching this video on, or the furniture in your room. Everything that you see all across the room, is designed by someone to solve a purpose. Whether it's a chair or it's a coffee table, makes no difference. If it's a product, it's solving a problem, and if it's solving a problem, means it has been designed by someone. So yes, design isn't just an expression or an art, it's done for a purpose, and it's all around you. Let's talk about the 5 basic segments where designers work. 5 different disciplines. So the first one, UI UX, like the apps that you use, all the Swiggies and the Zomatos and your mobile banking apps, Instagram, everything has been designed to, have a specific placeholder which you can remember, easily relate with, and navigate through. That's how great UI UX designs are created. Totally works on simplicity and form and function, right? I mean, in the comments, hello, people are joining in the live chat. Hello, Jitendra, hello, Sudhanshu. Yes. So yeah, where was I? So yeah, when you talk about UI UX, I mean, in the comments probably you can post and tell me about your favorite apps, or it can be on Instagram, and why do you like it. Let's just take a couple of minutes and think about it. We like them because there's simplicity. We like them because there's ease of access, right? So in the live chat, this is one thing. The first, like our first task for today. Write down the names of your favorite apps. It can be anything. It can be a grocery shopping app as well, and just say why you like it. Moving on, there's design and architecture. There's design and motion and video design. When you talk about special effects and motion capture, all of those things, they have been designed by someone and for a purpose again. Fashion design, as as all of us know, and yes, graphic designers, as some of us aspire to be. I mean, that's where I started, at least. Started as a designer, then I do a lot of things now. But okay, so let's talk about the first discipline, which is graphic design. So when you talk about graphic design, the most common things that comes to one's head, if we are like even remotely familiar with what graphic design is. So we know it's posters, it's packaging, it's branding, it's brand collaterals, or a lot of below the line marketing collaterals, and a lot of things. I mean, people those who have worked with us, worked with the industry as graphic designers, and are here to upgrade their knowledge, and who are looking for the real meat behind the potatoes. People who are actually looking for some real theory, like how great design is built, and people who have and such people who've already worked in the industry, so they would know. There are other things as well when you talk about graphic design. Yes, besides posters, packaging, and branding, there's corporate stationery as well. You do a lot of manuals, magazines. A lot of us are really into it. So yeah, there's quite a lot. And when you look at graphic design, so it's solving a purpose. It's putting across a message. Any graphic design that you see, any poster, any packaging, any branding, any how do you call it? any kiosks or roadside billboards. So they're actually solving a purpose. They're not just there for the beauty, right? All of them have some purpose. Be it Big Bang, be it look through the whole, type some text here. Taste like sweet apple pie. There's so much. I mean, it's written message, and it's also the visual that it carries. Like you look at the Nike campaign, right? There's a visual story that's going on, and they've used the story, the same color theme, created a very nice unity. And when you look at a Nike creative, you know it's a Nike creative because it's been designed to be identified so by the audience who are looking at it. Okay. So we have some answers. Gauri Sharma likes LinkedIn. Why do you like LinkedIn, Gauri Sharma? Discord. All right. Someone said Canva. Why Canva? Okay, we do have designers in our midst, so hello to you people. Again, birds of feather. So yeah, we were talking about the flow, how you decide the brand colors, how you decide the brand values, and you make sure that anywhere you look at a creative that's by Nike, it's Nike. So that's the power of graphic design. You establish brand value, you communicate with your audience, and the mediums can be many. Moving on, UI UX that we've already talked about. Behance, someone said Behance. Okay. भाई क्यों अच्छा लगता है ये बिहान्स और जो भी आप ऐप बोल रहे हो वो रीज़न भी तो बताओ. That would kind of help us relate and understand what we're discussing better. And we are already on UI and UX page. So live chat. Canva, दो लोग बोले Canva. एक Behance बोला था, वो गायब हो गया अब. Gauri Sharma, LinkedIn because it helps explore new communities of design, plus easy to share creative thoughts. Not bad. That's good for starters. Any more? No one? Cool. Moving on. So, like we discussed, if the UI UX is like really simple, if the interface is user friendly, everything that you require is there at your fingertips. Ease of access, being user friendly, and being really minimal helps when you really talk about good UI and UX design. And same applies to websites. I mean, log on to your Swiggy's and Zomatos and Spotify's and see what you like about them. And you can keep on posting in the chat, and we're moving on. Architecture, yes, how can you forget that? So there's so much design and so much aesthetics happening in architecture. Those of us who live in metros would kind of relate to it more. But these days, when you talk about tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well, there's so much architectural design and infrastructural design going on around you, right? So all of that has been, again, made to solve a purpose. And there's so many interesting examples when you talk about architectural design. I mean, in your own personal time, you can probably go online and see what all architectural marvels have been created till now. Like, for example, the Dubai's Museum of the Future. A really cool example. And there like other stuff as well. If you can mention some of them, that'd be great too. Okay, we have more inputs. Behance, because it helps showcase work, discover and connect with others. Okay. Canva provides good visual templates and themes. Okay, cool. Fans of AI, I see. So yeah, architectural design is cool too. So moving on, there's fashion design. All of us kind of use the products of this particular stream or discipline of design, right? But when you talk about fashion design, there's also a lot of textile innovations going on. Like in your, again, I'll tell you a lot of research points, so make sure that you're making notes. So, and the pointers that I tell you, in after this, after you're done with this video, go back and research a little, Google them, and see what you can find. Like sustainable brands like Pangaea. They're doing a lot of textile innovation for a lot of eco-friendly reasons as well. So there's design is always evolving as well, right? There might be mediums which would have been in use 10 years back. They're probably not there in the market anymore, right? So it's kind of always ever evolving when you talk about design, as per the requirements of the society, as per sometimes environmental requirements. So things always keep on changing, and it's a dynamic that is ever evolving. Motion and video design, yes, I have a couple of nice examples for you here as well. So all of us have seen title sequences, intro sequences to movies, music videos, reels, etc. Right? Now we have an example for Netflix intro. I'm sure a lot of us have watched it already. Now when you look at it, like how minimalistically it's placed, and there's an entire strategy, a science behind why it looks the way it looks, and why you always it gets registered in your head and stays there forever. That is what happens when you start design. Look at music videos, sequences, transitions. This is all again design. So there's a lot that you can do by studying design or understanding what design really is, and that's how designers work. And one of the most important factors, or the other important factor of how designers work, is design thinking. Now let's deep dive into 5-step design thinking process used by Google, IDEO, Airbnb, and trust me, it's not just for designers. Even doctors, teachers, and chefs use it to improve systems. Now let's take a very, very basic example. All of us have been to school, right? We've carried our heavy bags, and we don't really feel really comfortable, carrying all that load on our backs, when we go growing as kids, and also medically speaking, we're not supposed to. Right, when we are lesser than 18 years old, so doctors also advise that you shouldn't be picking up a lot of weight on your shoulders or over your shoulders, right? Because it kind of hampers your growth. Is what some pediatrics say as well. But anyways, let's want to get into the medical science part of it. Coming back, let's take an example of a student carrying a heavy bag every day to school, right? So you see a problem whenever we talk about design. Whenever we are talking about design, it's formulated, for the lack of a better word. Yeah, no, it's actually cool. So it's formulated to solve a particular problem, a pain point, right? And then the purpose becomes more meaningful of that particular product, whatever it is. So the first thing design does, the very first thing it does is empathize. Like we understood a problem, and then we made up our minds that, let's go on further and find a solution for it. Second step of design, you pinpoint the core problem. Why is the bag uncomfortable? Is the load too much? Are the straps too narrow? Are they really digging into your shoulders? Or XYZ, a lot of reasons. All of us have used backpacks. We know what comfortable backpacks feel like, and where the weight is evenly distributed, and you can carry your stuff around with ease. So these are all like everything that I'm talking about are purposes of having a backpack, right? So second thing, after empathizing with the person who's actually facing the problem, then we pinpoint the pain point where the discomfort is coming from. In the next step, in the next step, what do? We ideate. We generate creative ideas which would actually help to improve the product, its usability, and then again, when you make alterations to something or even ideate a new product, keeping in mind the form and function, right? Then it gives more meaning to the user and you have a great design. I mean, there have been instances where there are products, or there are some items which are like really aesthetically built, and but probably might not solve a lot of problems, or might not have a lot of good usage. So a great design doesn't have to look really awesome. It has to be designed well, and one has to make sure while designing a product that it solves the right kind of purpose in the right kind of manner. Or even if you're designing for advertising or things like that, but here we're talking about a product, so let's stick to that. So yeah, you can think about innovations like magnetic fasteners, expandable sections, or a trolley attachment where you can drag your bags behind you. So stuff like that can be done. How is design different from art? Okay, we talked about this, Garima. So, but anyways, to answer your question, I'll talk about it again. Art is often art and design, again, like I said, are often confused with each other. And design is primarily created to solve a purpose, like I said, like we're discussing about the bag, the product. Even if you're designing for advertising, or you're designing some furniture or a website or a UI UX or architecture, whatever it is that we're talking about, so it has to solve a particular kind of purpose, and that is the primary reason. Which then again, so the monetary part comes behind the product as well, or behind the advertising as well. When you talk about solving somebody's problems, you ask for money, right? You solve somebody's problems, you get paid. That's exactly how design works. But on the contrary, art is not that. Art can be created to express, to tell a story, maybe a fictional one, right? Done for some personal romantic reasons, maybe. Created to tell a story again, or just created to express an emotion, maybe, right? And when an artist is creating a piece of art, the primary objective of the artist is not money. He's doing that to tell different stories that he wants to tell as an artist. Like similar to how a songwriter writes, a couple of poems, blends it with some tunes, and presents a song for you, and you end up, happily singing along and memorizing that song, and you feel happy about it. So that guy has designed a great piece of audio as well. So yeah, art is primarily done for personal reasons, and the primary reason behind creating a piece of art is not money, essentially, or solving purpose. It can be just telling a story. So yes, the two of them are different. So moving on, as we are going deeper, and as we grow bigger as designers, as design enthusiasts, so we should remember that. Okay, so just a quick flashback. We talked about design thinking, how it works, right? 5-step. So the first one was empathize. We took the boy's case. Then we defined the pain point. Then we ideated. We thought about what problems are there, and how exactly we are going to solve them. Now, what next? Then, after we are done with the basic ideation, then we create a prototype. Simple versions, it can be actually fabricated piece, or maybe a 3D sketch, or a 3D render, or a paper model maybe of the same thing, without using the actual material, to understand, whether it's actually whether design solutions that have been ideated in the previous step, do they work in the real life. So how would you come across that? You'll have to design the actual product, use it, and see, right? That's how prototyping helps. Then you test. Then you test your product. Why do we test our products? Get feedback from real users. You must have come across a lot of feedback forms, from brands, from the restaurants that you visit, or a lot a lot of them. We've all seen them. So yeah, so once you're done with the prototyping, once you're happy yourself that okay, now the product is probably ready to be served to the general public, and they can end up buying it, and making use of it and being happy, getting some ease of life through your product. So what do? You give them out to test. I mean, even for if you're building a website, you beta test it, right? If you're building an app, you test it. Again, if you're building a school bag, you'll have to test it. You'll have to find people of the age group, understanding your TG, where your product fits. Now, that's again an in-depth analysis, how TGs, or how target groups and everything work. Once we get deeper into the science of it later, not in this video, but later. So we'll understand how things work for them. But yeah, just for a common layman's understanding, you understand who's going to use that bag. Find some kids, give them those school bags, ask them to really go and use it in their everyday lives, and see if it's adding any value to them, if it's giving them more happiness, more comfort. Because again, the kids will have to carry those books. Maybe you're able to help them, but in order to be sure that your product does what you really wanted it to, you will have to test it. And then with the feedback, you can improve your product, you can redesign it, realign some components, think again, or maybe at times you'll have to go back to the sketchbook and do it all over again, because what you were thinking about, the little item or little school bag that you designed, it's not doing what you wanted it to. So you have to go back to the sketchbook as well, the very first step, and understand whether you missed something while addressing a pain point or not, or maybe it just needs a little tweak. So yeah, so yes, every design that we talk about has to be solution based. When you talk about solution, it has to be based on what, why, where, when, who, and how. These are simple questions. When you have the right answers to them, it becomes, as a designer, your life becomes really easy. I mean, coming back from my experience, I've always made sure. I mean, I was schooled in such a manner. I'm talking about my college days. So I was schooled in a manner where our faculties, our design faculties, and our design teachers, they always kept feeding one thing into our heads, that if there's even a small dot on your canvas, it should carry some meaning. It should have a purpose. If that little tiny full stop of a dot is not solving any purpose on the canvas, it shouldn't be there. And when you look at the designers, and having worked with so many designers in the past, and I've trained so many professionals, so many teams, working with different corporates, working with different agencies. I've trained a lot of students in the past as well. Students who are actually doing really good. I mean, in India and abroad. So, yeah, I mean, design knowledge is all the same everywhere. So, our faculties and our teachers always fed this thing into our head. So, whenever you're designing something, the very common notion, and I see this as an industry problem. See, uh, how did I survive for the past 16 to 18 years in the industry? Because our teachers made sure that our basics are like really on the spot. And a very common, based on that knowledge and based on the experience, on the years that I've spent in the industry, I see people lagging behind. Professionals have come up to me and said कि सर हम वहीं अटके हैं जहाँ पे हम थे, हम आगे कैसे बढ़ेंगे? Now, how do you grow as a designer? That's one very important question that all of us need to ask ourselves before we actually plan to step foot in the industry. So how design works, I mean, I don't want to make it really heavy, but then again, the coming to the main problem in the industry right now, when a designer who hasn't been trained in design disciplines, who hasn't been fed design theory and doesn't know where design really comes from. डिज़ाइन के ग्रास रूट्स क्या है, किधर से आया डिज़ाइन, क्यों करते हैं हम डिज़ाइन? इट्स अ नाइस क्यूट लिटिल वर्ड, बट हाउ डज इट हैपन, वेयर डिड इट कम फ्रॉम? If you don't know that, if you do not know the science behind it, yes, there is a science behind it. Right? Sorry about the slide. Yes. So there is a science behind it and we need to understand it. Right? And the most common problem, after telling you all of this story and building so much foundation, is designers come up to me and when I ask them कि प्रभु आपने क्यों बनाया है ये? Right? Why did you make this in the world? I mean, what was the thought behind it? So the answer that a designer shouldn't be giving is, slapped sometimes to your face, which is अच्छा लग रहा था. I made it because I liked it. Fine, but there's a problem there. You made it because you liked it, so there was a narrowed down, filtered perspective which you as a designer are trying to force feed your audience. Whereas you made it to your liking. A great designer doesn't make things to his liking, because again, you can't confuse design and art. If you want to do things your way, make canvases, put them on your wall at home. But if you want to design, you have to understand the audience. You have to understand what pain points you're solving for the people who are going to be using that app or website or product or anything that you're designing. Right? So अच्छा लग रहा था तो हमने बनाया. Shouldn't be the case. Right? And if you train from the very beginning, from the ground zero that we are at right now, and some of us are already working design professionals as well. So yeah, if we keep that in our heads, take it from me, that our answer as designers should never be, हमें designers को कभी नहीं बोलना है अच्छा लग रहा था. We made it because we thought people would love it because we love it. No, there has to be an explanation. The colors, the elements, and a lot of things we'll learn how they are made, and the real recipe for creating really great designs going forth with Code EDU. And let's go ahead. Okay, let's do a mini challenge. How about that? Yes, let's do a quick mini challenge. Now, I've been designing a lot of things and I've talked about a lot of da about design. Now let's see how you think about design, and whatever I've told you till now, whatever information that has come across from me to you while you watching this video. So let's see whether I could give you a spark to think about design or not. So the objective of this mini challenge is going to be, again, the example that we talked about. We'll redesign a school backpack for a 10-year-old who walks 2 kilometers every day. Again, a 10-year-old who walks 2 kilometers every day is carrying maybe like 10 or 15 kgs on his back. Now, what you have to do is you have to sketch or list features which you can probably add to that product, which would help to improve the backpack, reduce the kid's pain. Then think of the pain points when you thinking about reducing the pain, which is the weight. Like I said, too much for the kid to handle as per his age or size. Straps, whether they're comfortable, is there enough padding? If there's padding, what kind of padding it is. Think as much as you can on the topic. Then style of the bag, how would it really suit the entire kid culture and kid's thought process, and how well would a kid adopt such a backpack or such a product in his life. Then how will your design solve these? You can write a small note, right? So let's do this. Let's share your ideas in the chat, and I'll read out a few and give feedback live as well, right? Initially I thought that let's keep 10 minutes for this exercise, but let's see how far we can go with it. And so the mini challenge: design a cool backpack for more comfort, make the kids life easy. Let's begin with it. Live chat, come on, live chat. Let's have a 20-minute exercise. Let's see how many entries do we get. Waiting for some entries to happen. Muskan Vijay says, good morning, sir. Hello, Muskan. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, so as people have got their thinking caps on, Garima, I hope my explanation solved your problem and you have a better understanding of how design and art are different. Something that we spoke of. Yes, sir. Okay. So people are actually into it right now. Just say hey for people who are actually thinking right now, thinking of some design ideas. Just say hi so that I know that you're working on it. Okay, Sudhanshu's working on it. Great. Who else? Hi. Okay. Gauri, Garima again. So yeah, one more fun information for people who are like really into it. Oh, hello. Prakriti Asa, hi. So yes, glad to know you got your thinking caps on, guys. And I won't disturb you much by talking a lot of blabber while you're at it and thinking. But for all of us who are like really into this video right now, and who actually gained some perspective, for all of you special people, there's the PDF that's going to be shared in the description, the link for the PDF after this video ends, so you can watch out that space and download it, and just if you want to revise everything that we spoke of today, so and probably gain more perspective while doing it. Raji, hi Kanishk. I have done, Prakriti. Wonderful. Can you share some clues for perfect backpack design? See, Garima, you'll have to think about the exact features that a backpack follows. What does that feature do? Like, it can be storage, it can be some extra cushioning or some extra airflow in the backrest area of a backpack. I mean that the part of the backpack that really touches to your back. How comfortable it is, how breathable it is, because you'll have to, if a person, like we said, the kid is going to be walking 2 kilometers, right? And it's summers, and summers in Delhi maybe, where the temperatures are so high. I mean, कोई अपने बच्चों को probably नहीं भेजेगा इतनी धूप में. No parent would do that. But then again, think he's like really working in extreme heat, right? So there has to be like special airflow. It has to have some extra cushioning that would make and the maybe the right kind of physics and dynamics behind it, which would help to evenly distribute the weight on the kid's back and not feel like he's carrying 5 kilos when he's actually carrying 10, maybe. And the straps can be more comfortable, or maybe there can be some trolley mechanism or something that would aid the kid in walking comfortably while carrying all that workload. All right, I hope, Garima, that solves your I hope you got your answer, some clues. Got it, sir. Okay, great. Prakriti Singh, smooth and thick back pads. Okay, storage, soft shoulder straps, soft sole at the bottom. Okay, how is the soft sole going to help the kid in walking though? A belt, a belt, a belt, a belt. Yeah. Okay, maybe more than one belts. So people who are actually doing the design thinking right now, what you can also do is you can upload your ideas, or you can do some rough sketches, and we'll share our email ID in the description. You can probably post it there, or you can upload it to your Google Drive and share that Google Drive link with us, with viewers access on the comments, so that all of us who are attending this session can actually look at each other's ideas. And when you're in a design classroom, we all learn from each other. So that is again another thing that we need to keep in our heads. So never think that somebody would steal your idea, or your concept would be stolen or something. When you're sitting amongst people who are learners like you, brainstorming and discussing ideas will always open the way you think, the way you perceive, the way you start ideating. So let's always remember that. And excuse me, I'm so sorry. Yes, I am in Delhi and it's too hot. Where are you? Where are you people from? Audiences कहाँ से हैं हमारी? Okay. Probably, yeah, you can answer that once you're done writing your ideas. Kanishk says ergonomic design, okay. Contoured, padded pack. I'm already starting to feel comfortable. S-shaped shoulder straps with breathable mesh. Bro, are you a product designer? Like, this guy is so specific. Kanishk, lightweight materials, high strength, ultra lightweight, waterproof fabric to reduce a burden. I am telling you, this guy is a product designer. Third, even weight distribution, chest strap and waist belt to balance load across the body. Kanishk, you know what? I would really love to see your sketch, bro. Make sure that you share a visual of this idea, and all of us can actually look into it and probably learn something new. From Mumbai, okay. Prakriti is from Jaipur, Jitendra is from Jaipur again, Garima is from Bangalore. And Kanishk says, bro, you totally stole the show with these. Reflective strips for safety during early or late walks. Nice. Wheels, foldable trolley option, hidden lightweight wheels, collapsible handlebar for when the child gets tired. Nice. I would love to see that sketch, bro. Please share your sketches through Google Drive links in the comment box, or you can mail it to our email IDs, which will be shared in the description later in this video. And yeah. Sudhanshu is from Bihar. Oh, I love Bihar. I love the food there. Then there's Chennai. Hello, sir. Priyanshi Jain. Hello. Okay. Are we all done thinking? Oh, Priyanshi is from Bihar as well. Nice. Chest strap helps keep the bag stable and reduce pressure on shoulders. Okay. A lightweight, waterproof backpack with padded straps, extra chest support, and breathable bag. Perfect for 10-year-old walking 2 kilometers daily. Okay. And Sudhanshu, what if a kid is lesser than 10 years old, but still he has to carry a lot of weight? Junior years mein to I hope all of us remember carrying so many notebooks and only writing in like 2 or 3 every day. कनिष्क की लिस्ट ख़त्म नहीं हो रही है भाई साहब. कस्टमाइजेबल साइज, वेलक्रो बैज एरिया फॉर पर्सनलाइजेशन विद फेवरेट कार्टून कैरेक्टर्स ऑफ cartoon characters or initials, expandable sides, zip out, extra storage space when needed. Okay. Weight, use of lightweight material, balance support to reduce the stream, straps, wide padded straps and chest waist support to prevent digging into shoulders, style customizable patches, keep it fun and age appropriate. भाई ये जो बेबी टोनी स्टार्क है जिसको ये बैग मिलेगा ना, वो पक्का आयरन मैन बनेगा इतने सारे फीचर्स के साथ. Bro, I am seriously looking forward to your design idea. Please make sure that you upload your sketch. We'll watch out for it. And people who submit like really interesting sketches, उनका सबका कॉल आउट करेंगे अपन नेक्स्ट वीडियो में फॉर श्योर. Garima says colors and animated characters also matter a lot for the kid. Yeah, capturing the emotion, relatability. Good one, Garima. JD says hi sir. Hello JD. Uh, pain points, weight, shoulders, range. Acha. Yeah, okay, this was fun. Should match the child's back length, not wider or longer than the torso. Prakriti, how about this? Think about, you said again. I'm gonna read that again. It says should match the child's back length, not wider or longer than the torso. Okay, that's a good point to look at, but think about it functionally. If you create a product with 25 different back sizes, it's going to be really hard for the brand to maintain that amount, that demand and supply, and there's going to be so much wastage. Why? Because not all selling that product is going to be really tough. But probably how we can look at it is, we can have a think like this. Think of a special attachment at the back, which would help, which would be adjustable, which would be telescopically adjustable, and would adjust the S curved backrest which is there between the bag and the kid. Because you're talking about kids, right? They grow fast. कई बार तो हमारे माँ बाप को पता नहीं चलता हम इतने स्पीड से बढ़ते हैं यार. Okay, there's 6 minutes remaining, so keep thinking guys, right? So again, you have to understand the people that we are designing the product for. So we have kids grow really fast. हर साल एक नया बैग खरीदना, and that too with so many features, is going to be an expensive business, bro. We can't think about our designs in a way where it might go and flop in the industry. I mean in the market. So a heavy feature loaded bag with different sizes. So according to that, a parent will have to buy a new expensive bag every year, irrespective of the durability that the bag has, and it can be used for 10 years or not. So yeah, think about that. Okay, lightweight materials. Customize puncher, keep it fun, age appropriate. Colors and yes, cool. More ideas, people. Prakriti, I would love to see your sketch as well. Mostly backpacks have vertical partitions, pockets. Can we design a backpack which has horizontal partitions for the lunchbox and stationery? For the lunchbox and stationery. Tell me something. How would this, Garima, how would this add value to the kid's life? I mean, what purpose would it be solving? I know it's a good suggestion, but what's your thought process behind suggesting this feature? प्रियांशी says lightweight and waterproof material to reduce burden. हो गया प्रियांशी, बहुत सारे लोगों ने बोला है. और सोचो. So again, good point though, because you know what, design thinking should not be limited. Sometimes it happens. This is one trick that I learned from my seniors in design college. So when you talk about design thinking, so there sometimes you feel like you're facing a block. At that time, if you're focused on your task, you'll come across really great ideas from amongst trash talk as well. Some jokes you're trying to crack, you're trying to be funny, or maybe you're just thinking, you're sitting in a corner, you're looking at something. Ideas can come out from anywhere. So that is one. Oh, we've got a lot of Priyanshi lightweight, we got proof padded. So yeah, so what I was trying to say is, never stop thinking. Never think that you've thought about 5-10 ideas, and now you've thought a lot, and probably there's no point going on further. Whenever you think you're facing a block while ideating, go back to the research, go back to the sketchbook, go back to the very initial brief that was passed on to you from the client, or in case of college, from your faculty or from your teacher. Go back to it, see how things are actually working out for other people who are into same kind of business. And see how people across the globe are doing it. Go to design websites, go to Behance. When we're talking about design learning, for all of us and even for professionals, keep going to Behance. You'll find a lot of great ideas over there for almost all disciplines of design. So that is kind of important too. And yeah, so whenever you think, and even if you think like you've thought of 50 ideas already, यार अब नहीं हो रहा है, बस और डिज़ाइन में कैसे सोचूं, इतना तो सोच लिया मैंने, अब मुझे थिंकर्स ब्लॉक हो गया, डिज़ाइनर्स ब्लॉक हो गया. Never say that to yourself, because this world gives you what you think of. What you think is what you get. That's how the universe works. At least that's how I live and what I believe in. So stop telling yourself that मुझे और ideas नहीं आ रहे हैं, मेरा हो गया बस, मैंने 10 सोच लिए हैं, अब और नहीं सोच पाऊंगा, या मैंने 50 सोच लिए हैं और उससे ज़्यादा सोचना का नहीं बचा है. Never stop thinking. Keep on writing. Even if you get trash ideas, just write it down. And once you're done with your scribbles, with your rough notebook, or maybe a blank page that you've been scribbling on and thinking about something that you're working on, so yeah, just keep doing it. And once you're done, once you think that now you're totally exhausted and you've churned out 100 ideas, then shortlist 10 out of them. Then maybe shortlist 5. And then when you come down to nail that one great idea that would really work for the brand, or for the people that we are, for the target audience towards which your design is focused or aimed at, that's when you really nail it. Okay. So time's up, people. Prakriti, an insulated and detachable lunchbox compartment or pocket that keeps lunch fresh and easy to clean. Okay. Multiple. Do you have kids, Prakriti? Sounds like it though. Or maybe you really feel for the kids. Acha nahi. Okay. So then you must be really good with kids, maybe, or maybe you have like a lot of memories when you were a kid. I stand corrected. Multiple compartments help keep the weight evenly spread to avoid leaning or back pain. Great. So we've all shared a lot of great ideas, guys. So now again, I repeat, what I want you to do is send in your entries, and people who come up with great ideas will get something really cool from Code.edu, and they can go to the description panel and download the PDF from there, revise that, and in the next video for the selected ideas, we're going to give a shout out as well. Great. So again, everything that we've discussed has been based on the bottom line idea of what makes a good designer. I mean, that's what we are here to learn, right? So what is it that makes us a good, what is it that makes a designer great? So being a designer is not about drawing really well or being a really great fine artist maybe, or being really great at softwares that we work with, because some of us in the industry, they come up with the ideas that, I know so many softwares, I know 3D, I know Illustrator, I know Photoshop, but dude, okay, you know the cheni hathodi, you know the stone, the hammer and chisel of it, but do you know how to sculpt sculpt a really great piece of art out of stone? Yes, you know your hammer and chisel, great, but do you have an idea of what you're going to carve when you're given a block of stone? So hammer and chisel, or just a part of it, or just a part of the process, will never help you, really shine in industry. And then cutting through the competition, और इतना सारे लोग हैं creative ideas सोचने के लिए, वो तो aspects हैं ही. But if you nail your basics well, and you really know how to think. I'm sorry, there is some disturbance. Yes. So, and if you know how to think, and how to think seamlessly, makes you a good designer. And it's all about observing, understanding, and imagining. Right? Precisely what we did when we discussed the case of this kid and his backpack. And we got a lot of lovely ideas as well. So, yeah, you observe, you understand, you empathize, then you ideate, keeping in mind the imagination that would actually, solve a certain kind of a purpose through one's design. Okay, so again, being specific about these basic ingredients of making a good designer. The first one is curiosity. As a designer, you have to be curious. You have to ask a lot of questions. You have to keep asking questions. Your questioning is going to be, okay, I don't want to sound like a lifestyle or a religious guru, but when you talk about curiosity and when you talk about growing as a designer, curiosity is the very spark, is the very seed of design thinking. When you're always asking why, always asking what, always asking when, asking the right questions at the right time, and knowing how to ask those questions, is being able to put your curiosity to good use and direct it in a way which would actually help you solve somebody's problem or come up with a great design. The next one, journaling. Us designers and also artists, I always tell my kids, when I say my kids, I don't have I don't have kids, but yeah, my students. So I always tell my students, I always talk to my kids that, whenever you are into something creative, whether it's writing poetry, some of us, I've come across a lot of students at different institutes and universities who are really good at poetry, and provided that they end up being great copywriters, and some of their ideas, even when they give some conceptual ideas to the designers who are working with these copywriters, right, turns out to be like really beautiful, really romantic. There's like so much rhyming into it, and there's so, I mean, they're not writing poems all the time, but people such as poets, they really know how to select their words, how to put across a wordplay which would actually grab attention, and copy is also something that a creative output needs, right? You have to write about it, if it's an ad, if it's a website, right? Even if you're designing a backpack or whatever it is, right? You have to write something about it. So whether you're a writer or if you're a designer, you will have to document your ideas, because ideas come and go really easy, and journaling is something that will help you. I'm so sorry, I'm sweating a lot. So journaling is something that will always keep your creative juices flowing. That's exactly how design thinking works. That's exactly how you evolve as a design thinker. You have to keep on writing any brightest or stupidest idea that comes to your head. Make sure that, as a habit, you're filling at least 2 pages in that separate journal of yours, where you're drawing sketches or something, maybe scribbling something, or writing down an idea, or scribbling an idea, or rough sketching it, or capturing some details. Maybe for some people, some of us who are like good with fine arts, who are good with painting, you can draw, sketch, do whatever. But if you're learning, if you're studying to be a designer, or if you are a designer, in both cases a professional, that is what I mean. So make sure that you're always carrying a journal, always documenting, um and you know jotting down your observations. How many of us do actually have this habit of carrying a journal or a rough notebook always along with them? Would love it if some people would uh, can relate to it. Journaling, anyone? Live chat. लाइव चैट स्लो हो गई है आज पीपल. ठीक है. I'll keep it very precise. I will not go very in depth in today's session, so that the little that you take home really adds value to it. And too much information per session, again, no, no. So no, अच्छा कोई कार्य नहीं करता है. But you know what, people who are here watching this video, just for the sake of it, एक notebook ही तो carry करनी है. Carry it with you, and make sure it has blank pages, no ruled pages, so that you're free to express, free to write, free to scribble away, free to just pass time. And for people uh, amongst us who are like really into smartphones and everything, who are kind of joy swiping on Instagram all the time, so probably they can take some time off the screen and spend some time with the notebook, just write down their observations or something. It's a good practice. It's kind of, I find it relaxing. Photography. Yes. Photography or cinematography as well goes on the same principle. Creating great frames, framing great stories visually, or creating great frames is really important. I mean, imagine you're enjoying the weather, and going on a drive, and on the highway you come across a billboard which has like really crappy photograph and badly written text, and the entire composition is such that even if it would have been there, it would have made no difference, right? So anything and everything that hasn't been framed well, would you like looking at it? No, right? So if a composition is structured, whether we're talking about some frames in a movie, a lot of us are a lot of Marvel fans. Sir, can we use tablet? No book, no copy, no pen. That's it. Yeah, carry a tablet, man. Just keep on saving those slides that you work with, right? And over the weekend, or sometime you're working on some project, once you write something, it gets registered in your head better than when you think or read about it. So it'll become easier to recall ideas, and you'll have a pocket idea bank out of which you can look at different things and apply them in different projects. That works well too. So great compositions. Then, like we've talked about it already a million times on this video, problem solving. Design has to solve some problem. Period. So we as designers have to look out for opportunities in every challenge. right? Even if you talk about, people who are already working as designers, or some of us who have a little bit of experience about the corporate. Once you start working in the corporate environment, right, you'll often hear seniors and people say, seniors and leaders in the agency or in the office that you're working in, saying that, let's not discuss problems, let's discuss solutions. And that's exactly how designers are supposed to work, right? Either you can have a crybaby thought process that you're discussing the problems and not able to think about the solutions. That happens when you have a block in your thought process, and when you don't know the exact science behind design thinking and design itself. You will get stuck, for sure. That happens, right? So, but if you have a problem solving mindset where you are focused on the constant flow of energy from one point to the other, solving some problem, making yourself productive on an everyday basis, right? If you have that kind of a mindset, you come across a problem, you will always have a solution. And designers are meant to be great problem solvers, and by being great thinkers. So to sum it up, what makes a good designer? What all do you think you've grabbed from everything that we just mentioned? JD says something. Excuse me, sorry. Emojis. Nice. So yeah, the top traits of a designer. Like I said, it's not about being great at drawing or great at photography, or just a part of it. You have to have holistic knowledge. You should know how to build frames, whether for a movie, whether for a still like a still photograph, or it's about, and you are able to do that once you observe, you understand, and you imagine. You use your imagination, or let your imagination flow in the right direction, right? If you're curious enough, if you're journaling every day, visual ideas or words or whatever comes to your head, if you're capturing some photographs, all of us have smartphones. If you're not able to carry a DSLR around your neck all the time, even for the people who have it, take photographs with your phones. Sometimes you come across moments which look really beautiful, and that beautiful moment of yours, maybe you might be able to use it in some future project. You never know. So keep clicking and keep understanding how things work. And later on, when you study as a designer, you're taught a lot of things about framing and photography and cinematography and stuff as well, which is common knowledge which you have to know. So you'll know how to do it better. But nobody is a pro on day one. So let's keep on doing that, designers. And then problem solving, like we already talked about. So again, think about design, not to sound like a lifestyle guru or a religious guru. I'm not trying to teach you life. I'm trying to teach you design. But you know what? It's kind of similar. Because when you're thinking about design, you have to think about design as a lifestyle. There's a really harsh reality behind this as well, which I'm going to mention. But let me sum this up again. It's kind of funny, but you'll understand it. Think about design as a lifestyle and not just a skill. And the non-sugar-coated part of it is, there's a thing, there's two terms which go on the go around in the industry, in the advertising and design industry. Is the first one is a designer, and the second one is a non-designer. A designer is somebody who's people like us who are studying design, who are working professionally as designers in fashion or architecture or whatever, UI UX or graphics or whatever stream that you're working with, whatever discipline that we're working in, right? So we are designers, we know design, right? We can understand, we can communicate well in design, and when we look at a design, we can understand the anatomy of it, that why is what placed where, डिज़ाइन का कौन सा एलिमेंट किधर रखा हुआ है, क्यों रखा हुआ है, हमें एज ए डिज़ाइनर समझ में आता है. बट यू नो वॉट, द पीपल दैट वी वर्क फॉर आर मोस्टली नॉन डिज़ाइनर्स. क्योंकि फर्स्टली आई मीन कॉमन सेंस, अगर वो डिज़ाइनर्स होते तो प्रॉब्लली वो अपना काम खुद ही कर लेते, दे वुडंट नीड अस, right? They would have done the job themselves. But we, majority of the times, we end up working for non-designers, right? And sometimes we have to educate our clients or the people that we're working for, designing for, that what is good for them, why, and what is not. But there are moments when because the client is paying you, he might ask you to do otherwise and take a radical step against the thought process of yours. At such moments, you don't need to be emotional about your ideas. Sometimes that combination works as well. And we designers are like mixers. Whatever you put in it, we mix and we give you a product. We give you a design. We give you something visual to look at, something great to look at, something great to relate with and feel. Right? And that will happen. That will keep on happening on an everyday basis, right? And we'll be working with a lot of non-designers. So us designers, we always kind of have this understanding that we have to keep on being curious. We have to keep journaling. We have to keep on improving on our work. We have to keep on going through some history, going through some grassroots of the entire idea of design and concepts related to art. And design has been there in the world with humanity ever since humanity existed. I mean, think about the first wheel that was designed, right? To fetch a cart or fetch some wood, maybe by some caveman, right? But again, it was designed. And designers shape how people live, move, shop, feel. And it's really powerful stuff. And it's not just there for the think of it, but everything that we use has been designed by someone, right? And how we use those products and the combination of products that we choose or buy to include in our lives kind of defines or shapes or alters, if you will, the way we live, the way we move, the way we feel, and how easy we feel with our lives. Q&A. आज हम फर्स्ट सेशन में ही Q&A करेंगे, तो डायलॉग भी हो जाएगा हमारा. Got questions? Drop them in the live chat. From courses to tools, we'll cover it all. I mean, you can ask away your questions, like if you want to know what AI means for design careers, how does it really help designers, and what it really, would it really overpower man force in the coming years? Replace people, take away jobs, or maybe help improving the kind of output everyone does. So whatever you think about what AI means about design careers, you can post your views or your questions if you've got any. And curious about freelancing. Yeah, for those of us who want to be working from home, freelancers and free birds working with design can also post their questions. Any career related questions, industry related questions, whenever you're meeting an industry professional or whenever you're interacting with one. So please keep on asking a lot of questions, because that is the only thing, the only fuel that will keep helping you grow as a design professional or advertising professional per se. This is your time to ask anything. Guys, questions, views. All right. While you're thinking about your questions, people, so there's a link in the live chat right now as we speak, which carries a link to a Google form. It's a quick fill. If you guys can log on to that link and fill your entries, give your feedback, and mark your presence. Just say hi. It's a quick form. You can quickly fill it and tell us where if there's anything that we've missed or anything that we haven't covered or anything anything and everything from the design industry which you're curious about. You want to ask about a process, ask about a discipline, get deeper knowledge on how to be how to be a designer, a great one in any stream, or anything related, any curiosity of yours related to the industry or the work, please put it there. Will AI take away the jobs of the designers? It's a really frequently asked question, Prakriti. Thanks for that one. I don't think so. Not really. I mean, smartphones came in, but did the idea of phones vanish from the market? No, right? Phones are still there. They're just smarter. We don't have dot phones anymore. I mean, people do have them, but yeah, phones have evolved. So similarly, design industry is evolving as well. I mean, I remember, to give you a better insight or give you a deeper insight from my personal experience. So when I started off as a designer, okay, yes, I went to college, but then again, during my school years, I was assisting my dad. He was an art director too and had a nice studio at home. So what I'm doing right now, so he was already doing it with flying colors and worked with a lot of brands and everything. I won't name them, but yeah. So he had a decent home studio setup, and I've seen design happen. Okay, I feel really old while saying this, but I've seen design happen in the early 90s. Till the early 90s, it was all manual. Right? Designing and graphic design and all of that, billboards or packaging and everything was happening by hand. Now you have like two buttons that you can press and achieve a gradient on a surface. It wasn't the case back then. Then you have to like really work with a small airbrush and all that, right? And then achieve a certain kind of gradient with certain kind of flow, the right kind of colors and depth, everything, all the precision done by hand, right? That was an era for design as well. But computers came in. And I remember owning a Pentium 1 generation computer, that's what it was called at least, and working with like CorelDRAW, Photoshop 3 or 4 or 5 something. So yeah, really old versions, man. So yeah, that was an era too. All of a sudden, machines were there and softwares were there. But did the design process die? Did the designers go extinct from the industry? Did it really kill jobs? No. For those designers who updated themselves in that era and learned those softwares, learned those new tools, are people who have been there in the industry for last 30, 40, 50 years, man. Didn't change anything for them. And why did that happen? That smooth transition happened because they upgraded. If you don't upgrade, whatever industry that you're working on, but since we're talking about design, if you're not upgrading yourself, then there's no point. You will go obsolete at a time. Think about, and this is applicable for any industry. I mean, now we can generate dialogues as well, right? If you talk about audio design, let's talk about that for a bit. So you can generate all the audio in whatever voice tone, excuse me, right? But do you really know where the entire process of audio recording started? I read a lot, so I came across this information. It started from like those shellac discs and shellac cylinders. It was all done in an analog manner. There was a time when you could have only recorded one sound at a time, right? But now it's gone so advanced. You can generate vocals, you can generate dialogue, you can generate anything through AI, or you know you can generate sounds through your computer as well, right? So the industries and the fields and the disciplines will always remain there. They are going to be, yes, they're going to be musicians, they're going to be artists, they're going to be designers, they're going to be designers for all different various disciplines. They're always going to be there in the industry, but how they work, the mode, the medium will change as the technology keeps on evolving. And if you think that AI can do everything, I think if that's the case in our heads, then we need to think again. Because AI, you can make AI work for you. Right now, AI is at a stage where it's a really good assistant. Not even assistant, assistants are experienced too. The right word for it is intern. The AI works for you like an intern who's just come out of college, and it's his or her second or third month in the industry. That is how AI works. Call it dumb if you will, but it hasn't been evolved to act any smarter than that. So you can get your how do you get your work done from an intern as an experienced individual? People, those of us who have you should not be scared of. Okay, I'll come down the comments again. So yeah, when you're what's I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the by the questions. I'm getting some interesting ones. We'll come back to this. Will AI take away the jobs of the design? So yes. So AI won't take away the design jobs for the designers. You can make it work well only if you know how to be a design leader. If you know how to be a design leader, you'll be able to get work done from. I mean, common sense. If you know how to be the captain, you can work the sailor, work the mechanic, work the engineer as well, and keep the boat sailing. That is how any industry works. When you talk about design, you when you train how to be a design leader, then you don't have to worry, right? Because then you know the copywriter's job, then you know the illustrator's job, then you know the animator's job, the person who's doing the post processing or the graphics for some video release, right? For packaging, packaging design, all the mediums and medias that exist in graphic design. And you when you train from the get-go, from ground zero, to be a design leader, then you don't have to worry about it, because whether it's an AI or whether it's a real person, you can make him work as a great intern and get really professional output out of him. But if you do not know the job yourself, be it AI, be it an intern, or be it a professional who's working under you, you will not be able to get the work done from it. And being specific about AI, it lacks the emotional edge. It's just not there. I mean, if you want to test that theory, for people who understand poetry really well, ask GPT. I mean, you can probably take this as an extra exercise. Do this for people who are into poetry. Ask ChatGPT to write a great poem. Give ChatGPT some descriptions, and out of all the great poetry that you read, compare that knowledge with the crap that ChatGPT is going to come up with. It's going to have no hooks, no emotions. Why? Because ChatGPT is artificial intelligence, and the whole idea of it getting so intelligent that it can actually think like a real human being, we are ages away from it. So I hope that answers your question, Prakriti. No, if you're working as a designer, and if you know how to be a real leader in the industry, if you've got that potential and that knowledge and that experience to back you up, you will never get laid off. Then what's one mistake beginner designers make when starting out, and how can we avoid it? Okay, this we've already discussed, but Sudhanshu has asked this question. So, Sudhanshu, hello to you. Let's answer your question. The most common mistake, like I've already discussed, is अच्छा लग रहा था. क्यों बनाया ये डिज़ाइन? अच्छा लग रहा था. कैनवस में 2 चिड़ियाँ एक्स्ट्रा क्यों बैठी हैं तुम्हारे कार्ड के ऊपर? क्योंकि अच्छा लग रहा था, इसलिए बैठा दी. Doesn't work that way. And how to avoid it? Make sure that when you're getting into an industry professionally, be it design or whatever, but when you're talking about design specifically, please make sure that you have all the uh, essential ammunition to go to war. Your theory, your basics, your learning, your you should have a really holistic learning years before you start off. Or maybe when for people of who are already working as professionals, but they want to go in depth with theory and in depth with the whole idea of design learning, for them, when you have your basics right, then you will not come up with answers like कि अच्छा लग रहा था, and we did it for our personal liking. So that is one gravest mistake any designer can do, and this is how you can avoid it. I hope, Sudhanshu, that answers your question. You should not be scared of AI, but the person who uses it. Precisely. AI will never be able to replace humans anytime in the near future. It's going to take at least 100 years, if you ask me, but that's what people, and I mean, I've watched a lot of seminars and watched a lot of podcasts and talk shows where scientists and professionals and thinkers, they come and talk their heart out about their discoveries, about their researches. So yeah, it's not going to happen really soon. So AI is not carrying emotions right now. Any more questions? Doubts? No questions, no doubts? Any curiosities building up? Yeah, people, so अगर कुछ भी अगर बीच में कोई there's something that you need to be discussed again or in depth, please feel free. And keep on. Thank you, sir. Prakriti Singh. Okay, you're welcome. So yeah, keep on asking, guys. I am constantly looking at the chat as we speak. And just a reminder, the feedback form has been pinned in the comments. So please fill the feedback forms so that we can make these sessions really useful for design enthusiasts, for design aspirants, or for design professionals who want to learn further. So it will really help us gain some more insight and make the course and the content on our channel better, so that all of us can benefit from it. And we leave no stones unturned. So let's wrap up. And that was all the information. I'm getting some hearts. Thanks. So yeah, that was all the information on see, think, and make. How designers think. नेक्स्ट लेसन कब होगा उस पर भी आते हैं प्राकृति. So what I need you to do is reflect on everything that you learned today. Please download the PDF from the comments. We'll share it shortly with you. Then a short design thinking assignment. Think of any object. Around you and think of how to redesign it. You can do it on paper. You can do some sketches, right? And you can write about it, what you designed, why you designed it. Then you can download the material, the videos and the tools and everything that will be shared in the description, right? So let's just take a couple of more minutes and see if anybody has more questions, and then we'll call it a wrap. In the meanwhile, you can for this bit, you can think of some ideas which or some objects which you will be redesigning, that you can post in the live chat. Thank you, sir. Got to learn many things. Insightful session. Thank you. This was a great session. Okay. Great. I'm really glad that you guys loved it. I hope you were able to relate from it. And if you have any questions which haven't been answered or you want to ask, please ask away. Thank you, sir. It was a very interactive session. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for all your patience, for hearing me out, hearing me blabber a lot of experiences that I have, not a lot of them, but some of them, yes. And hope you've had a nice time learning, and hope you take home a new and a fresh perspective. And again, design is a journey. It's not just one class. So I hope to keep on seeing you guys again and again. And thanks from Code EDU. See you soon. And I see a lot of creative heads coming out in the future from our midst. Thank you, sir. Really great session after such a long time. All right. Thank you. So have a great day, people. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.